Good morning. You're listening to 92.7 Arrow FM, and this is the Nothing Personal Show with Nikki King. And we are part of the Women in Business, Wairarapa Women in Business Facebook community. And there are 650 women in that community, and they're all inspirational. They've all got amazing businesses. And you wouldn't believe there were so many women with businesses in Wairarapa, would you? That's amazing. And we meet on the first Friday of the month at Clairville Bakery at 8:30. We have a breakfast. So if you're part of the group, if you join the group, you can come along to that. And also we're on the third Friday of the month at Don Luciano. But this Christmas one we just did at Entice Cafe because we've got a member who has that cafe. So we may be going there a little bit more in the new year. And that's at 8:30 a.m. till whenever you want to go. And we throw in our business problems and solve them. And that's a great thing. So that's what this show is about. It's about women in business. But we do get some men on because men offer women in business great services that they can use as well. So we've had quite a few blokes on there as well. Also, we have some sponsors that I need to mention. I'd really like to thank Jane Burns from Wairarapa Osteopathy for supporting this show for the last couple of months. She's been a fantastic sponsor. She's got a fantastic business. It's called, it's Wairarapa Osteopathy, and she is at the Wairarapa Natural Health Clinic in Carterton on the High Street, and she's also at the Self-Heal Clinic, which is Sarah Beasley's business. She has rooms there as well, and you know, if you've got aches and pains or problems moving, she is the lady to see. So I would definitely book in with Jane. And the other sponsor is my business, Fuzzbox Designs, and we do all things digital. So we do websites, graphic design, social media, training. We've got some training courses running at 3 Mile. So if you go over to fuzzbox.co.nz and look at the training section, you can have a look at the social media courses that we've got running in the new year. Now, I've got a very, very special guest with me today, Adi McMaster from Marty Girl, and she has been a member of Wairarapa Women in Business from the beginning, since it started, and we became friends, and so I'd like to introduce Adi to you, Adi McMaster. So Adi, hello.
Hello, good morning everybody in this wet, muggy morning.
I know, and it's Christmas Eve, it's just like England.
Christmas Eve.
So, Adi, you've been on my show before. Last time you were here, you were with Chris Tracy, and it was a really inspirational show, but we didn't have any cameras then, so it's not on YouTube for people to go back and look at, but you can find the podcast on our thing. But for people that didn't see that or hear it, do you want to tell people a little bit about your business, what you've got?
Hi everyone, again. Well, I'm Marty Girl Skin Food, so the name is actually about what I do. I make food. I make skincare that your skin you could actually eat, because I feel that we feed our skin natural products that I forage. I did a business class where I met Nikki, and we learned about marketing. We learned about networking, but we also, it gave me the courage to start with a website. And so instead of a hobby that paid, it turned into a business. And it's just grown and grown. And Jeanette told us to enter competitions and business opportunities, not to win them or anything, but to recreate your vision, your goals. and it does. When you write down what you do, when you enter these things, you realise what you do. So the first year I entered BMI Business Awards, and I won the whole of New Zealand. I won Solomeo, and then after that I entered into the rural New Zealand off the land, and I got third equal in New Zealand. And then I entered in someone recommended in the Gold Awards last year, and I was a runner-up. But it's the opportunities that you get that you don't get financial. Anything financial. In fact, it costs money, and it takes a lot of time to enter these forms and things. But it's the people you meet, the networking, and it's just you grow, and that helps with your business. And then this year I entered in the Wairarapa Chamber of Commerce Business Awards, and that was really interesting. It's the first time they'd ever done it. And we were put in different categories, and it was really cool. We ended up with a dinner in the Copthorne. And then 3 weeks ago I received an email from Government House New Zealand, and I thought, gosh, that it's weird because it didn't come through the Chamber of Commerce, and it used an old email address, so I ignored it. I forwarded it to Vanessa at Chamber, and she said, oh, no, it's a scam, just ignore it. And then 2 weeks ago, she said, oh, no, it was real. And I wasn't keen to do it. I thought once again, Gold Awards was so frightening for me because it was so big and I felt like a humble little mouse. And it was a bit overawing, so I thought I wouldn't do anything like that again. But then I met Jeanette Hall, and my tutor, and she said, stop being selfish and think about your products, not about you, and get over the shyness, get over the bigness feel, and just go there for the opportunity and the networking.
Wow, all those awards that you got there, that's amazing. And, you know, I was there at the beginning when you started out with your website anyway, not the beginning of your business. And you've grown and had lots and lots of other things that have come into your business. Like recently you've been talking quite a bit about your workshops. Yes,
that's become a huge... In fact, I've gone up 100% of my workshops from last year. I don't really know why, but... I think Destination Wairarapa has definitely been good for me. I know it's not as good for some people, but for me it's fantastic. And they really, really are proud of their small businesses, and they really push them, and they really support us in lots of ways. We meet every 6 weeks, and I think the amount of, I think it's a couple of $100 a year, I think it paid for itself in the first month. So I do these workshops where either a slather, which is $20 a head, and you put a face mask on. I teach you to give each other a hand scrub. We do facial yoga, and you try the Muddy products. It takes up to 2 hours depending on the amount of people. I either do it at your house or my house, or I travel. If there's sort of a decent amount, I'll travel. And then it's grown into people saying, I'd love to make something. So then now... for $70 a head, you do the slather, which is $20 plus another $50, and you make 3 products. I give you a choice of 6. You all have to choose the same. So people actually make their own products, and they learn about it, and they take it away with them. And I sneakily then also do a lot of educating about my main love, which is ethical and sustainable skincare and using what's around you with packaging. And from that has grown into me building an eco house where I can actually host women for the weekend, and they stay with me, they do workshops, and then a lot of businesses in Martinborough have gone on board with me, and you can do photography, you can pick a bike up from Stuart from Green Jerseys, and he'll drop bikes off and take you on a tour. You can do lots of things. I'm getting a recycled shipping container swimming pool for you all to flaunt your bodies off in the swimming pool. And so it's really, the house is interesting for me, building it on my own. I'm on my own. I've been single 2.5 years now. And that's a learning process because a lot of the mainstream builders don't really know much about eco. So I've got a ply kitchen. I've got concrete slab with polystyrene in the slab, and I've put pebbles, power pebbles through it. I'm trying to use the sun as much as possible. I haven't put solar in, and I haven't put underfloor heating. I'm trying to let the house do that for me. Be interesting to see.
Wow, so that's quite cool. So that's a big project to take on by yourself, building a house. How have you found that process?
Well, there's no fights.
Well, that's a bonus, because you see on Grand Designs where they're fighting with their project manager or something. But, you know, that's cool. But you've had an interesting sort of journey, haven't you? Because
yes.
I know there's been things that you have wanted that were quite interesting.
Yes. So I find generally a lot of builders aren't as kind to a single older woman. It might be my imagination, I don't know, but I know what I want, and I find it hard to explain to people, to the men sometimes, but I'm quite strict with it and firm with it, but I do a lot of research. So I have built a house before in Auckland, but it was 25 years ago, but I designed the house myself with my son. It's a very simple house. It's 120 square metres, but I managed to get 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, an extra toilet, an office, and a walk-in scullery, and with a double garage. And I've asked a few people to help because it's my house. I can put my print on it. So Nairi from Burnt Offerings, I got her to help me design a front panel, so as you come in as a guest or a friend or a customer, you get greeted by this beautiful native bush scene of wood pigeons and kawais and tuis and bellbirds, and it's a red door and a red garage door because my house is mainly black or charcoal with a cedar front. So it's a bit of fun. I've put, as I said, the power shelf through the floor, and I'm going to put a big, huge Moroccan indoor-outdoor room out the back, so at the front, so I can actually make beautiful workshops and have people have fun and drink wine and have a swim. So that's my aim.
Well, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Even though I live down the road in Masterton, I'm feeling like I should come along and get involved with that, eh? Especially swimming in your pool, because I know your last place you had a nice pool as well.
Yeah.
It's quite important, I suppose, in Martinborough. You get quite nice warm weather down
Very
there. It's got its own little microclimate down in Martinborough, eh? And it's quite good that you've been involving all of the other businesses around you in your plans for the workshops, because I think probably you've got this sustainable focus, and I suppose sustainable is involving the people around you as well, isn't it?
Mm. Yes, I do a lot of harvesting. I'm foraging from friends' garden, my garden, the roadside, but I find it really interesting with the packaging. A lot of people spend thousands and thousands on packaging. It costs me nothing. I've got friends that collect the rubber bands that go around the newspaper. So all my products now get wrapped in cardboard, and I haven't bought sellotape for 2 years now. I use the newspaper bags. I cut them in half and use those to give people. As locally, I put the products in that, but to send, it's just New Zealand Post now has to look at their eco the way. I know you can get cardboard sleeves to put products in, but it's very hard with a half a kilo pot of body butter. I use only glass in most of my things, but they've still got plastic lids. And I still have to cover a couple of my products, still have to have plastic because they're in the shower or the bath, and one poor customer broke. She had a 200 ml big heavy pot and she broke it. It smashed and she cut her foot. So I've gone to plastic for that. But it's only, of the 20 products, I think I've got 3 plastic ones. A lot of my products are metal tins, a few of them, but I don't know if that's better for the environment or not. I think it's better than plastic because it has been recycled, I think, aluminium tins. And I also use jute bags for some of it. And they're recyclable and compostable. But that side of it's fascinating. And I asked one customer recently, with a big order, how because I always ask my first-time customers how they find out about me and for my database. And she said that there was a big write-up in Zero Waste New Zealand website, Facebook, and I didn't even know I was in that. And so it's interesting, that is getting more and more important to people, and it's becoming a big part of our lives. And I think big companies have to look at the big picture of how they sell their products and how they, like I judge, I know it's really naughty and judgy, but I judge how my raw materials arrive. I judge how they're all packed, and they're all wrapped in cardboard now or paper. No one's using bubble wrap anymore. No one's using sellotape.
No.
And so that's something we've got to look at, and it's real working. I think we can't expect it straight away. No. But we have to look at that and be sustainable as much as we can, and I think every little bit helps. Yeah, you're right. And I got I ordered some protein powder from Health 2000, and it came in something called Pop Starch. Which is another sustainable product, isn't it? Which is quite interesting, because I'm like, do you know what I said? I said, oh, this is not very good for a company who is healthy. And then I looked at the piece of paper that was put in there, and it was not actually packing peanuts at all. It was pop starch. It was something that composts. So everybody is now looking at, it's become a very big thing, being sustainable, being environmentally friendly. Yeah. And would you say that your customers choose you because of that? I think they're starting to. I've been involved recently. I have 2 e-commerce stores, my own one, Marty Girl. But I also got asked 3 years ago to go into Green Elephant. And Green Elephant, despite its name, is an eco-sustainable store online. And it's got everything from underwear to toothbrushes to skincare products. And I find I get a lot of, probably as much traffic through that one as I do my own one, because they've got marketing degrees, the two of them. A young couple from England have come out here. They've been here 8 years, and they promote your product really hard. They only charge 5%, I think, and they do big promotions towards businesses. And I donated a product for and I thought I'd choose my colloidal silver spray because it's different to everybody else's, and it's I just got so many hits from that, and people really love them. But recently I got a big order from Switzerland from there, and then it was for their family in New Zealand. So that was really interesting. But it's quite good to ask people where they find you, because I think it's quite important. And I've realised I've now filled a niche. And the niche, I wasn't looking at the niche before. I was just trying to sell to anybody or everybody who wanted to. But I've definitely created, or it's created for me, a niche in the sustainable, ethical side, which is very important to me.
Yeah, and they're lovely products. I've had a few of your products you've kindly given to me occasionally, and they are really nice and light products and enjoyable, and smell lovely too. I can actually smell at the moment because I've changed my diet, so I can smell products now. But I had a spell where I couldn't smell anything. But so they're really cool, and you've got quite a big name from all these awards that you keep winning as well, which is pretty amazing. It's amazing that the first. How did you feel when you won that first Solo Mio award?
I thought they'd got somebody else, and each time I win that something or get near, I worry that they've got somebody else or it's wrong, because I still can't believe that I started from home, this tiny little. I could only afford to buy 5ml bottles of oil and 10ml bottles, and I get olive oil locally from Olivio, because I believe it's a really good product. I get their second press olive oil, and then I infuse weeds and herbs in it. So to me, it's special because I'm doing this stuff, and a lot of people make skincare. And I say to all my customers, I give them a personal email when they choose me, is they have got a choice, and there's a huge choice out there. So I thank them for their support, and they say it means a lot to them to be acknowledged. That personal little comment, and the fact that they know they've got a choice, and it's really good. One thing that I have branched into without realising is in work. A lot of work companies now, this year especially, have chosen me to make their products for their staff and their customers, and small businesses. And I think that's absolutely lovely that they give their staff something that means a lot to them. So one thing I've just done recently, I was so busy that I had to turn them down for a couple of weeks while I caught up with my products. But there's a consulting business in the Wairarapa, and I don't really want to mention their name, but they every year get $50 a head, because their counsellors, that's the word I was looking for, they have a lot of horrible issues they deal with, and they have a wellness fund, which I think a lot of companies are doing now.
They are actually,
and they've got to be seen to be looking after their staff, and there's like 1 billion days off a year due to staff who are tired or sick, and I think they feel addressing these issues helps them, and there's less days off. So they chose me instead of the usual. They have $50 a head in their wellness fund, and there's 13 staff, and they chose me to have a $50 bag of Marty Girl. So I went to Uncle Bill's and got some plain brown, completely plain goodie bags, and I got stickers and stuck them all over, Christmas stickers, and a little blingy bell or something Christmassy. And I had 9 women and 4 men, and I filled them full of Marty Girl products, and they were absolutely wrapped. They loved the products, and I think it's a really cool thing to give your staff. And the criteria was local, handmade, and ethical, and of course I fill all those things. So it was really lovely. And then the CrossFit gym that Nikki's involved in and enjoying thoroughly in her journey, lovely
Nā Pera, that's right.
Nā Pera. She and Ellen was in my class, her lovely husband, and she rang me and asked me to create 30 products for their lovely customers. And I thought, what a lovely thing to do. So I said I'd mix them up so they get a choice of different products, and then she got the pleasure of choosing who got what. And I kept thinking, what a lovely thing to do for your staff and or your customers, and it shows that you appreciate them, that you care about them. So things like that really I love my job, just things like that are special to me. Recently I've been getting, through Green Elephant, I've been getting some quite big orders from Wakefield Hospital in Newtown, and they're getting bigger and bigger, and I couldn't understand what that was all about. So finally the last order I said, because it kept getting delivered, the products were getting delivered to the goods and services entranceway at the back, and I thought it can't be a single person. So I emailed them and said, what's the story here? What's this? And they said, oh, well, the same thing. They get a wellness account because their doctors and nurses are dealing with deaths and things every day, and their counsellors. So they decided this year was going to be a local, ethical, handmade product, and they chose Māori Girl. So their doctors and their nurses and some special customers get a Māori Girl product, to help them with their journey, and that's all through the year, not just for Christmas. So that's another thing that I just love about my business, that I'm helping people.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? You've got all these customers that you're getting from all over the place, all over the world, even. Do you get many orders from outside of New Zealand?
Oh, yes, that's a new thing for me too. So last Christmas, somebody came into the Mountborough Eye site and tried my bug-off spray, and they were from Canada, and they bought a bottle, and then it ran out, and then they ordered 4 more, and then we went through. I'm not really that keen on selling overseas because it's embarrassing how much New Zealand Post charges.
Yeah, it can be quite a lot, that, can't it?
Yeah, so my little bottles were $15 each, so that made $60. So if I tracked it, it would have been $60, and it was $120. And I said to the customer, honestly, isn't there something that in Canada, that this was from Toronto, isn't there something from Toronto that would do as well? And they said, no, we just find it amazing. And then afterwards, people have told me Toronto have got really big mosquitoes.
Well, I won't be going there then, because they seem to like me. Yeah, yes. I love to try some bug off.
Some people really get prone to them.
Yeah, the bug off. It's the sandflies. I think they just decide that they like a bit of English. It's like us going to the Chinese. I think they think, oh, there's a bit of English, I'll just go and get her. So it's like.
Well, I used to be prone to them, and the doctor said to me that with fleas, mosquitoes, and those little things, sandflies, and he said that if people with softer skin, so that might be our pomminess,
it might be that
they can stick their sharp thing in, whereas often men they can't. But also if you smell sweet, so it's to do with your heart, your soft skin. And that's what he said. And I was so affected when I moved to Auckland. I actually got sick from them. I got so many bites from fleas and mosquitoes, it actually made me ill. And he said that when they put their little probe in you, they also release a liquid and when you have about 50 bites, it really makes you sick. And I didn't know that. I thought I was allergic to Auckland.
No, yeah, that's a good point, isn't it?
and that, so they've put a couple of orders in, and then another one that's come through, of my third one now, to Adelaide, and that one is for my colloidal silver spray. And colloidal silver, I'm pushing this because I just am besotted with it, but colloidal silver is antibacterial, antifungal and antiviral, but they've actually just put in the newspaper lately, because our antibiotics that we get given by the doctors are getting more and more less efficient.
That's right, yeah.
And they're saying now if you use because I also drink colloidal silver, I drink a tablespoon a day, that antibiotics are 100% more efficient if you use the two together, which to me is wow.
Interesting. And
the spray I make in a 100ml bottle is made in Opaki by a man up there. He makes it for me in 1 litre containers, and he makes it double strength, and I put 4 essential oils with them that are also antibacterial and antifungal and antiviral. Wow. So it's got about 8 uses, and my customers tell me what they use it for. And originally it was supposed to be deodorant, not an antiperspirant, a deodorant.
Yep.
But it's half the teenagers in Martinborough use it for acne.
Oh, wow.
And stinky feet, which the two teenagers seem to have together, stinky feet and acne. And my cat, she's a wimp, and she gets beaten up by the local cat and ends up with these huge big abscesses. We know about them. They're golf ball size.
Yep.
and the pus that comes out, and then the vet charges $60 each time to squeeze them and it's a lot of stress for her, and it costs a lot of money. So last time she got one, I picked her up and it popped all over me, on her belly. And she screamed, and I held her down and I squeezed more out. She's lashing her tail and snarling at me, but she stayed there, and I poured the colloidal silver spray in, and in the morning it was gone.
Wow.
And the thing is, she won't lick it because it's got the essential oils are tea tree, lavender, clary sage and lang-a-lang, but they hate tea tree.
Right.
It's like if you put it somewhere, I don't think they'll pee on it either. But she sat there growling and snarling, and it was gone in the morning. And then I tried to squeeze more pus out and put it on again, but no pus came out, and there was no swelling. So it's good for humans and animals.
Wow, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, because I know natural products are getting big for animals as well, because I've got a client that I'm just doing a website for natural products for animals. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now what I'm going to do now is we're got halfway idea already.
Wow.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some music. Now I'm going to play this again because these guys, I really like this piece of music. Well, this song. Sounds like I'm talking all classical there, doesn't it? I like this song. This band we were in Battle of the Bands with this year, they're called Dream State Empire. And I know Nick Hill, he's the lead singer in this band. I know him from Free the Cats. So I'm going to give these guys another play because this is new music, and you know how much we love new music and new talent on this show. And this is called Black Daylight, which it's a fab song, and I hope you enjoy it too.
Phew.
That was Black Daylight by Dream State Empire, and what a fantastic band they are. They're so awesome, and it's always really, really cool to catch up with Nick Hill, who is he's got an amazing vocal. His vocals are amazing. I really, really enjoy listening to him. I mean, you can look up Free the Cats. They've got some songs before they split up that are on YouTube, and it just... the diversity of the guy is pretty cool. And the band are amazing as well. I really enjoyed them at Battle of the Bands. They were pretty awesome. Sorry, Adi?
Where are they from?
They're from Wellington.
Oh, gosh, that's pretty
Exactly.
close.
And there's so much music that goes on in the Wellington scene that we don't see up here. And it's really sad that we don't have King Street Live, I think, now.
Very sad.
Yeah, we need to get a music scene going. So this is Nothing Personal show with Nikki King on 92.7 Arrow FM. And thank you to our sponsors, Jane Burns from Wairarapa Osteopathy. Thank you so much for sponsoring this show for the last couple of months. It's been immense. Thank you so much. And Fuzzbox Designs, which is us. And we're part of the Wairarapa Women in Business Facebook group. And what we thought we'd do, Adi and I've got Adi McMaster from Marty Girl Skin Food on my show this morning, is we have a little chat about the Women in Business group, because we haven't really spoken much about that on this show. And it's an ideal opportunity right now, because Adi was one of my first recruits. Hey, Adi. Well, you were part of what you instrumental in the beginning, I would imagine. Yes,
well, we all did the business class with Jeanette Hall, in small business classes, and then when we finished in November, we got to February, and we all decided that we missed each other, we missed the network, that we missed the banter that we had, the support. So we started the small group up.
Yep.
And Nikki's idea, and she runs it all now. It used to be a couple of people running it. And gosh, it started from nothing for 3 or 4 of us, and it's now, as Nikki says, 650 people. And we meet once a month at Clearville Bakery at 8:30. And like people with children can come along. But it doesn't matter if you turn up at 9 o'clock. It's very casual. But we do have a theme. We don't just have coffee, and we don't just network. We actually go around the room, we introduce ourselves, and then the idea is that over the last month, problems that have turned up that perhaps we might want to share with people, and either they give advice or they feel sorry for us, and also triumph, things that are successful, or little things that you might have had problems with it and you've overcome. And it's really interesting how if you talk to other people about it, how they've had the same problems. And it doesn't matter if you're a different business.
That's right. And what's been quite interesting is when we get new people and they come, they're quite often the people that have got some kind of thing they want to talk about. Because last time we had Jo turn up, who we were just talking about, who's got this fabulous business where you can go and make a dress. And, No,
she started that because of us.
No, she was already doing that, but she said, I said you could do this, and we troubleshoot, and we've done that with you, and we've done that with a number of people where and it's really cool, isn't it, to see them go away and do that and grow
the
that
next thing
idea.
On Facebook, she had the classes going, and we've all said, wow. So for $120, and she was wearing the frock.
And we're like, we all want one of those.
We want one of those frocks. And she said she made it, and we could make one ourselves. And we thought, wow. So she takes 4 people. She hasn't done it yet, but as soon as she went home after our meeting, she put it on Facebook. And, of course, we all said it would be quite cool. And I think their kind of dress is flattering to all figures, and you choose the material. And I think what a fun thing to do in a class.
And you come out with a dress. You come out with a piece of clothing, which is amazing for an afternoon's entertainment, and you get a garment for $120. I mean, that is a really...
And you pick the material, you make it yourself, and it's really cool. It's got elbow length sleeves that you can tie, and it's got a wrap thing at the back. I don't know what you call them, and it's just lovely. And the material she was wearing, I really liked, but I could see Nikki in something really blingy and sparkly on stage and loud and proud.
Exactly.
So I think it'd be great. And then Lisa also joined, Lisa Burrell, I think it is.
Yeah. She's in the pure Wairarapa, isn't she?
Yeah, so she's bought Fantail, Olive Grove and hazelnuts, and then she's also got pure Wairarapa boxes of goodies. But so they only joined last month, and they've already become a big part of our group. We have such interesting people. We have We have Marie.
We've got vets. We've got Marie Claire.
Marie Claire.
Nairi, who's doing things for your house.
Yep.
And this is the thing, you see, we've got a network of people now that we can actually refer to each other, because sometimes as a woman in business, it's hard to find somebody like-minded, isn't it? And you often don't want to go to someone you don't know. And
it's nice. Like I'll see posts there. Because Nikki, she puts so much work in. She puts every single day, occasional lapses, and they're not hangovers. They're just so she's busy. She puts a post every day, and there's ones for problems, ones for shouting out success, ones for moaning and groaning. So there's some are promoting, but some aren't, and you just sort of get the hang of what days are what. But she tells you. But I just think it's fascinating. When I went home the other day and wrote down all the different people I'd met and their different jobs and how versatile the Wairarapa is, and how quite often we have 2 hats, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Not counting being a mother, of course, that's a job as well. And I think it's lovely to have these. I work at home, and where most of the group do, and I love working from home. But if I get bored or lonely or need a bit of brain power, that's why I find these groups amazing.
Yeah,
and being
right.
At 8:30, you're finished by 9:30, 10. You've got your whole day to yourself.
Yeah, because when we had a few bits of trials and error at the beginning where we did the middle of the day meetings, but they tended to go on a little bit too long, didn't they?
And it stuffed your day up because you couldn't do much beforehand, 11 o'clock, and then afterwards it went into lunch. So I find the 8:30 is perfect for me, and I come from Martinborough. I leave at 8. I'm there at 8:30. Have a nice healthy breakfast, and then we chat, and I just think it's really lovely.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool, isn't it? And it's nice to get out. I try to make every one of them just because I work by myself too. And it's just nice to be accountable to someone else sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just hang out with some like-minded people.
And if you don't like working from home, like Nikki and I do, that's where Marie Claire comes in. She's got this 3-mile working thing. And at first I thought, how's it going to work in the Wairarapa? I can see it working in the city. But she's made it really work.
Yep.
She has really interesting workshops.
That's right.
At night, she's had Deloitte's there. She's had all sorts of people there, and they're generally free or a $5 or $10 charge. And then she does collaborations with people. And I don't know if you've met Marie Claire before, but she's just so interesting and so full of energy and full of beans that she's very, very infectious.
Exactly, and I can see that a lot of businesses will grow out of 3 Mile as well. I'm doing some courses down there in the new year, some social media courses. So the first one is an advertising masterclass. So if you want to get on that, there's only 10 seats available.
I'm keen for that one.
Yeah. It's $99, and I'm going to get platter to do a platter for us, a big grazing platter. So and you get to network. The big thing about my classes is that I do the lunch so that you can network with the people, so that you can get to know people before you start. And generally, the people who come and do the Facebook thing are at the same level as you, so it's not so bad. You're not going to be meeting somebody who is flying higher above than you, and they're all in the same situation. And I've got one for newbies as well, so if you don't know anything about Facebook, the following month, I think, or the following fortnight, I've got the beginners one. Now that's Marie Claire's supporting that for me, and that's really cool. And also me and her have got a couple of plans that are just under the radar just now, but they're very exciting and to do with mentorship. So you can watch this space for that. But she's really infectious. You know, she jump on your idea and help you get the best out of what you want to do. But there's quite a few. There's Janine as well. Janine Ogg, she's got that Get It Done mum. Yeah, so there's lots of people out there. And Rachel Hansen with her gender neutral clothing. So there's lots of really interesting, and Jo Kempton, she's won some awards as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's got 4 businesses.
I don't know how she does it, do you?
She does, her main business is Happy Belly Ferments, kombucha and kefir, which is amazing. And then she has got Arti Da, which is an allergy kind of formula. She makes 100% natural, and it works. So I bought some the other day. I've never had so much bad hay fever this year. And the third thing she does, she's formed a collaboration with Heidi, the vet, making anti-scratch natural products for animals. God, I'm itching just thinking about it.
I know, I'm just scratching now.
I know, you're making me itch. And the fourth one, she works with your energy. I don't really understand it, but I did one there last week in helping get rid of negative energy and baggage out of your life.
Yep.
And so they're all really interesting, quite different businesses. And, you know, there's so many women like that around. They've got these interesting little businesses.
And she's a regular at the breakfast, isn't she? She's got a lot of insight into what happens in business.
And she's won, I think she was a finalist in a food award in Auckland up this year. And she talked in our group how nervous she was in going there, how it was so out of her comfort zone to hop on a plane on her own and drive up, go up there and sit on her own at a huge, like 1,000, I think it was 1,000 people at the dinner. But she said, we're all learning to do these things for your business. And if you say that for your business, it gives you the courage to do them.
That's the thing we're all learning, aren't we? We're all jumping in out of our comfort zone and becoming rounder, bigger people because of the challenges that we throw at each other.
I mean, when I first started had to do talks for my business, I was so nervous I actually wanted to vomit. And now it's just really natural to me, because I think if you've got something you love and you're passionate about it, that naturally takes over. But still, public speaking is not comfortable for most of us.
No.
And that's where Nikki's got another thing that she's got thinking about coming, where, what's it called again?
What's that?
The talking thing, TED thing.
Oh, the TED Talks, yeah. We're thinking about doing TEDx up in...
Which I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, so that's a possible... That's going to be emerging in the new year if we get the licence. We've applied for that. So, yes, you know, any interesting people, nominate them. We'd be happy to consider them. That's another Marie Claire collaboration. So that's pretty cool. We've got that coming up. But public speaking is a big challenge for people, isn't it? I mean, I am a performer, so I've grown up doing this stuff. So I don't see that as a challenge necessarily. But I know a lot of people do, and I've spoken, so many of my clients find those kind of things very challenging. But like it's great that you said there that the more you do it, the less challenging it becomes, because, you know, you do end up having to do quite a lot of that as a business person, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And it's like I said, I actually hated it to start with. And some of them were like an hour. An hour's a long time. And you write things down, and then you talk quickly, because you gabble, because you're nervous, you're sweating, you go a face red, and then you realise you've finished your talk and it's only half an hour, and you think, oh my God, now I've got to bulk it out a bit. But then it's quite good when you ask questions, and hopefully people ask interesting questions. So in my workshops, that's what I do, to put it mildly, to shut people up, because they're listening to me and they're paying to listen to me. But if they talk, it's quite disruptive. So I make a really mean limoncello with my still. So I say at the very start of the workshop, the most interesting question asked, they get a bottle of limoncello, and it keeps them a bit focused. But then I have to try and remember the most interesting question. You know, what I'm doing, my talk, and you're multitasking big time doing all that. But it really does work. You know, and that's the thing, you can do a talk to all the, you know, talk all you like, but people still have to listen. So you have to actually be interesting for them to listen to, and that's challenging in itself.
That's right. And that is quite hard, because I know when I started I identified the social media classes as a spin-off that I could run from my business when we did the business course. So I only started doing those then. And the first one, I'm thinking, God, what if they know more than me? And, you know, there's so many things that it's like doing performances with the band. There's always something that goes wrong, or there's always something with Facebook. There's always something that's changed from the last course, because they change everything all the time. So you go into your course, you start doing your course, and then you try and go to the bit where you're going, oh, and this is how you do that, and it's moved. And you're like, okay. Right, so I just need to find out where that is now. So there's always these challenges. I think with speaking, there's always challenges that you have to get over. Like with the radio show, there's always technical things that go on, and you've got to overcome those kind of things in your business. So it's quite interesting how we, what's the word, improvise all the time.
But I think it's part of also, if you're a business owner, unfortunately, we have to embrace Facebook. We have to embrace, like, none of us, I think, are that comfortable with it, but these days you just have to do it. That's where Nikki's courses come into it. And even though we don't really want to sit there and learn about Facebook and Instagram, you have to do it. And you youngsters in the family will tell you they don't look at anything else. That's what they look at. For if they want to buy something, my son, he iTubes everything first.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he doesn't buy anything without going on reviews and things like that. And looking at reviews on Facebook, on Instagram, that's what you do. And so, unfortunately, people who aren't say, I'm not into that, that's not what I don't want to become my business, then they wonder why their business isn't creating. And you have to be interesting too. I used to just do photos of my products when I finished them, and my son said, Mum, people aren't really interested in your products, they are interested in the journey.
That's right, they're looking at your story, aren't they?
And so the most hits I ever got was in the thousands, when I accidentally did a video of Sylvia working and she was just quietly plopping away, and I didn't even know it was a video. I thought it was a photo, but it was going, and so many people said it was really interesting seeing the still. And as I said, I always say, I failed chemistry at school, and I put 6 bottles of Pinot Noir in my still, and it comes out clear. I just still can't believe it. It's just amazing to me. So there was Sylvia. I took a photo of the bottles of wine going in and then the clear alcohol coming out, and people were just fascinated.
Yeah, it's quite interesting when you haven't seen that process before.
No.
And I think people like to see what's going on behind the scenes.
A story.
Yeah, that's
journey.
right. The crazy things that you put out there, It's like, I'm vlogging as well, so I'm doing the fitness journey, Nikki's CrossFit journey. And some of the things, just the random things that you put out on the Facebook page that aren't the videos get more likes. And it's like, I finished a run at Henley Lake, the picture of Henley Lake. Oh yeah, people love that. So it's pretty immense. So we're coming back to your business. What have you got planned for the new year? What's in it for Marty Girl this next year? Because we're on Christmas Eve, and we start looking forward, don't we?
Yeah. I've obviously identified that Marty Gill fills that niche with the eco, sustainable, ethical side of it. But building the house will definitely...
Yes, that's a big thing, isn't it?
Once I get that sorted and finished and how I want it, and I want it interesting with a lot of art and things like that, then I want to do a bit of travelling, and I want to travel to places like Sri Lanka and look at the raw materials and look at oils over there, and I can claim that. Any tax people out there,
yeah.
tax people out there, I'll be doing my job diligently.
But it's all research, isn't it?
Yeah, research and development. And I always do a skincare conference a year. Last year was it was really interesting. That was over in Australia. And what I've learned and then I did one this year in Wellington. But what I learned at each one, the first one I did was very scathing about natural and organic products, and they were very proud if they created something synthetic that was nearly like a organic or natural product, and I felt very small there. I felt like they were just tolerating me. And the change in a year in the Wellington one, because these are all cosmetic scientists, they've got all degrees, and so there's me, self-taught at home, so coming up against them. And then we were invited to submit a product which was new, and so and I decided to do a wild crafting one that was something different. So I put my dragon's blood serum in, and they were fascinated with it. I didn't win the awards, but I didn't do it for that. But they were quite fascinated on the dragon's blood and the properties of it all, and they were trying it all and testing it on their fingers, and it was quite interesting. I learned a lot off them. But getting back to the talk this year was more than 50% about natural products, and how to develop it, and wondering if the worldwide we actually had enough growing to create it. And that's where these companies like doTERRA and these huge multinational ones fill the need, because you can get stuff off them. And they've got acres and acres of land all over the world. Whereas the people like me, I can see I'm all right, but if you grow bigger, then I can see there will be a world problems in the future. Yeah,
that's right. And are you going to WOMAD this year?
No, I've been to WOMAD eight times. The previous 6 were as a customer, but the last 2 I went as in the Mindful Retreat Centre, and it was really cool. Lots of really unusual activities. They have the Maori, the laughing yoga, and they have kind of kinetic science skin thing. But I have 8 chairs with people waiting, and I'm booked out Friday night, I'm booked out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I bring a dippy hippie team with me, and we offer face mask with a hand scrub. We offer massages and foot scrubs and hand scrubs, and we open the tent out to look at the bush, and it's just amazing energy that's there if you've ever been, and it really takes it out of, they only choose musicians that take you out of your comfort zone, and so I make sure that I see groups that I've never heard of or seen of before, using really unusual instruments. One of my favourite was the Russian Mongolian girls that used a Jew's harp.
Wow, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and Jew's harp, I think it's just in their throat, isn't it?
Is that doing?
Yeah, but they made the sounds of wolves howling
as well.
Of horses.
Oh, wow.
Horses, it's all from that thing.
Wow. And
they were dressed in national costumes, and they couldn't speak one word of English, and it was in the pouring rain, and it was just fantastic. So that's what WOMAD do amazing. They do an amazing thing of getting people to listen to music they've never heard of or seen in their life.
That's cool.
And every person that is a performer also has to do a workshop, and they have to do a cooking show. So at the food of at the World Kitchen, they have to do a dish from their country, and then we all try it, and they have to do a workshop. So these Mongolian girls with an interpreter showed us how to use a Jew's harp. Most of us couldn't get any noise out of it, but it's very interesting. Yeah, so I'm not doing it this year because the last 2 years have been fantastic, but it's so tiring.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Exhausting.
But you're quite passionate about getting out to your customers. You do quite a few markets, don't you?
Yeah, I'm cutting down less. I'm choosing more that fit my niche. I did a sustainable one. I was invited to do at Sustainability House in Tory Street, and that was really fascinating. I met such lovely people in the kitchen there. The food was run by Pomegranate, and I don't know if you've heard of Pomegranate before. It's run by the Syrian refugee woman. So they're finding a real lovely introducing their food to New Zealand, and it's quite different food. It's a mixture of Moroccan and Arabic food. And it's really lovely, and meeting them with their costumes on and their ethics. It's quite an interesting market.
Oh, awesome! So that sounds like it. You know, it was an interesting thing, and so you're cutting back on the markets, but doing more workshops in the new year.
I'm choosing the markets that are more my niche rather than going to any different one. I'm choosing ones that fit my, I don't know what you call it, my critique, my niche.
Yeah, that's wise.
And my workshops, I really love the workshops. Even though they're really tiring, they're really rewarding. And I've now got 3 Google five, I don't know what you call it, Google 5 ratings.
Nice.
I didn't even know that you could do that. I didn't even know. I was on that, but I went and found them. I had to remember my password, of course, to get into it, to find it. But that was cool that people felt passionate enough and enjoyed it enough to they make the effort to go onto Google and put a rating. That's all new to me too, all this stuff, but it's really interesting.
Oh, it's really nice that you got those 5-star ratings. That's pretty cool. If you were watching now, and you could be watching from anywhere, you know, I've got family down in the UK that sometimes tune into the show. If you want to order Marty Girl products, you can go to martygirl.com, and you can order from the website, and I think you can book. Can you book your classes from there?
Yeah, I've got a blog. I've got a couple of blogs in there explaining about my workshops, and if you'd want, I mean, I know I'm biased, but I strongly recommend one because I think they're a lot of fun. I really love doing intergenerational workshops.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because my market, I'm aiming for kids. They're our future in New Zealand.
Yes.
Teaching them, the 13 to 18-year-olds, how to make their products, how to go in their cupboard to use them.
Yep.
And teaching them, and they're all actually onto it. They really seem to be onto it about our footprint in the world and trying to keep New Zealand beautiful, you know. And it's our future, and they're our future. So I love doing the teenager, the mother, and the grandmother, and they have so much fun together.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when we went looking at new cars, they were interested in my kids were interested in the efficiency ratings on the cars, and it's like, they are really switched on to that stuff. So yeah, and that's good for the environment, but we've got to also be starting that off for them, because we're giving the world to them, aren't we, as the next generation down. Well, Adi, we're coming to the end now, so thank you very much for being a fabulous guest. You've been fabulous. I always love having you on here. Love catching up with you, because we went for breakfast first, so we had a lovely breakfast, didn't we? Healthy-ish, yes. I couldn't eat all mine. Thanks, Monique, for 10cc. You always do amazing food. Thank you. So yeah, we had a 10cc breakfast. Bumped into my son, who was having his breakfast because he works at Newbolds. So yeah, that was a great thing, and thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on, because it was difficult filling the needed to be somebody to fill the Christmas show, didn't it? And thank you for doing that.
I used to do Pilates on a Monday morning, so I could do it, and I think that's when I did it last year too. Yeah. I don't like missing my morning Pilates.
Yeah. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there. I hope that you are going to have a lovely, lovely, relaxing Christmas. I hope it is whatever you want it to be, because some people want to have a great time, some people just want to be at home. I know that we're at home because we don't have family around us, so have a great Christmas. Make sure you stay safe on the roads if you're going somewhere. Don't drive like an idiot. You can get there, it might only be an hour later, but do it wisely. I hate hearing the road toll numbers, so make sure you drive safely, especially as it's wet. And I'll see you on New Year's Eve, because I've got another guest. I've got Juliet Qualtrough coming on New Year's Eve, and that'll be interesting because you'll be talking fitness, and that's always something that at the moment is a good thing for me. I'm still doing CrossFit, so if you want to follow my CrossFit journey, that's nikkiscrossfitjourney.nz, and you can follow this on Nothing Personal on Facebook. Go to Nothing Personal. You can always go to Fuzzbox or to Wairarapa Osteopathy. I'm not sure that they've got a Facebook page, but they have definitely got a website, so wairarapaosteopathy.co.nz. Pop over to them and support our sponsors, and you can join the Wairarapa Women in Business Facebook group.
We'd love to see you.
Yes, we definitely would love to see new people with lots of new innovative ideas. Also, I was just going to say something that's gone completely out of my head. Yes, so definitely get over to the Facebook group and do that. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. So we're going out live now at 9:30 on Arrow FM 92.7. We also go out on Wairarapa TV at 12 noon. 6 p.m, 5 p.m. today and 11 p.m, and tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Channel 41 on Wairarapa TV. Or if you're not in the country, you can get it on YouTube. On the Wairarapa TV channel, there's a playlist called Nothing Personal. You can go there, or you can get the app. You can get the Wairarapa TV app, and you can watch it on there. And also, this show is repeated again at 9 p.m. on Arrow FM, so we've got a repeat for you. So thanks for tuning in, and as I say again, have a great Christmas. Me and Mr. K and all the K family are going to have a nice relaxing time, and we'll see you again on New Year's Eve. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye.